everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Mercy and I'm back here with another video. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you're new, welcome. We talk about all things faith, fashion, lifestyle, and beauty. So thank you for joining me once again. Today I will be talking about a lying tongue. And there is 7 things that the Lord clearly detests, and that is stated in Proverbs chapter 6 verse 16 to 19. And those 7 things are haughty eyes, a lying tongue, hands that kill the innocent, a heart that is evil, feet that race to do wrong, a false witness, and a person who sows discord into a family. And so obviously, like I said, today we'll be focusing on the lying tongue because I truly feel like God impressed this on my heart to share with everyone. It must be on his heart because it just came from nowhere. So that's what we'll be talking about today. So in Proverbs 12:22, it says that the Lord detests lying lips, but he delights in those who tell the truth. And so when we look at the definition of detest, it means to hate, to loathe, or to despise intensely. So just by breaking down that definition, we see that God is not playing about a lying tongue. He does not like it at all. And notice it doesn't say that he hates liars. It says that he hates a lying tongue. And because the person can always change, the person can always control what is coming out of their mouth, but what is coming out of their mouth is the outcome of what's already in their heart. And that's why God tells us to guard our hearts above all else. And the thing about it is, in John chapter 8 verse 44, it says that the devil is a liar and the father of lies. And it's no coincidence that the first thing that he detests in Proverbs chapter 6 is haughty eyes, because haughty eyes is basically just translates to pride, conceit, and arrogance. And the reason why the devil is in hell is because of his pride, because he sought control, because he sought power. And so, yes, he detests lying lips, but delights in those who tell the truth. He honors those who tell the truth. He takes pleasure in. That's what delight means, to take pleasure in. And so we see in Psalms chapter 18 verse 19 what happens when God takes pleasure in you. He led me to a place of safety because he delights in me. And so there are benefits to God taking delight in you. And so we want to make sure that we are on that side and not the detestful side. And like I said, in chapter 6 in Proverbs, it clearly states all that he detests. So now it's very clear that he makes it very clear so that we can refrain from those things. And then we go into Proverbs 26:28. It says, a lying tongue hates its victims and flattering words cause ruin. And many times, like when you ask someone why they lie to someone who they say they care about and they say they love, they always say, oh, to protect them or to not hurt their feelings. But this verse clearly states that a lying tongue hates its victim. So how can you say that you love someone if you have lied to them? How can you lie to someone that you claim to love? It clearly contradicts in this verse. And so yeah, like I said, pride is number 1 on this list because it leads to all the other things that the Lord detests. There wouldn't be a need to lie if we weren't prideful. And I honestly believe that there's only 2 reasons people lie, and that is 1, because of pride, because we don't want to accept accountability and responsibility for what we shouldn't have done. And number 2 is the fact that we want to control the outcome of the situation. We don't tell the truth because half the time we don't want to deal with the reaction of the other person. And so if we don't think their reaction is going to be pleasing to what we have to say, then we try to manipulate the situation by lying. And that is witchcraft. That is demonic because, like I said, in John chapter 8, it says that the devil is a liar and the father of lies. And he seeks to manipulate, he seeks to destroy, and to use our weaknesses against us. And so if we go back to Proverbs 12:22, in the Message translation, the second part of that verse translates that he loves the company of those who keep their word. And I just want to use that verse to segue into covenants and what that means to God. I think that this generation, like this day and age, we've done a terrible job at keeping our covenants with people. And the only thing we need to make covenants with is our mouth. We agree with, when we make agreements with people, those are covenants. And we see in Matthew chapter 18 verse 19 that there is power in agreement. So let me read that real quick. And it says, I also tell you this, if two of you agree here on earth concerning anything you ask, my Father in heaven will do it for you. Anything you ask, my Father in heaven will do it for you if two of you are in agreement. And so we see that there's power in agreement, because marriage is literally two coming together and becoming one. That is agreement. That is a covenant. And we see that there's power in two coming together in prayer, because the Bible clearly says that where two or three are gathered, the Lord is there with them. And so in Matthew chapter 12 verse 36, let's go there real quick. It says, I tell you this, you must give an account on judgment day for every idle word that you speak. So every lie that comes out of your mouth, you have to give an explanation for. So to avoid lying, I mean, in situations where we feel like it's not the right time or place to divulge what is exactly on our hearts, we can easily say, God has given us so much language and so much choice words that we can just say, listen, this is probably not the best time and place for us to have this conversation, but let's touch back on it later, and actually do that later. You know what I'm saying? If we don't feel like we have the words to say, then we can just come back to that conversation. In Ephesians 4:15, it says that instead we will speak the truth in love, growing in every way more and more like Christ, who is the head of the body, the church. And so when we speak the truth in a loving manner, we are becoming more and more like Christ. When you tell someone the truth, it should not be condemning, it should not be judgmental, it should be out of love. You know what I'm saying? And in that way we are like Christ. So in Proverbs 27:6, it says that wounds from a sincere friend are better than many kisses from an enemy. So it's better for your friend to be hurt from you telling the truth than to be filling their head with flattery. It's more beneficial. You know what I'm saying? In the few verses below that, in chapter 27 verse 17, it says that as iron sharpens iron, so a friend sharpens a friend. And so how can I sharpen someone if I am too soft to tell the truth? Because by lying, we are now stunting the growth of that person, because now they think that the way that they're going in, the way that they have been walking in, is correct, and it has no, like, there's no problem with it, so they don't feel the need to change it. But if we continue to, you know, bring and expose those things to light and speak the truth about what they're doing, then they can acknowledge that and start to make changes in their lives. And in that way, they are growing and maturing. But as long as we keep feeding them lies and flattery, there is no way for them to grow and to become who they're supposed to be. And so, yeah, I just think that it's very important, because, you know, on a daily basis, you know, people are always talking about, oh, it's just a white lie, or it's harmless. But one lie turns into multiple lies, because it's a snowball effect. You have to continue telling lies to keep up that one lie that you told before. And so there's no such thing as little white lies. A lie is a lie, and you don't have to lie more than once to become a liar. And so I believe that this subject is on God's heart, because we go daily like telling lies without even noticing. And by us not honoring our covenants with people, not following up on our promises with people, that is lying as well. Because if we say that we're going to do something, we are not obligated to fulfill every word that we have spoken to that person. And the thing is about this generation, our promises and our agreements with people are contingent about how we feel. They're contingent on our emotions, and it should not be that way, because God is not a man that he should lie. And if he was a liar, then we would not be, you know, we would not have the blessing of Abraham. That wouldn't be a thing. But because he kept his covenant with 1,000 generations, we have the blessing of Abraham on our lives. So just as God is not a man that he should lie, we should be men and women of our word. And just like I said, he loves the company. He delights in those who keep their word. And so don't think that, you know, little lies are not go unseen by God, because he sees everything, and you will take account for every word that comes out of your mouth. So please be intentional about speaking the truth, especially to those who you claim to love and care for. If you truly love someone, you will speak the truth, and you will see that it will help them to grow. Though they may be hurt by it, they will learn from it. And so that's what I wanted to share with you all today. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.